Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about massive news of Quant being at the center of developments involving CBDCs. So firstly, I'd like to show you a video which features Thomas Harjano, who is the CTO of Connection Science and Engineering at MIT in the US. So Harjano in the following clip actually goes into detail surrounding CBDC developments around the world, including the development of multi-CBDCs across the wider economy. So during his speech, he actually details as to how Quant have actually created a multi-CBDC demo in response to central banks around the world looking to roll out and utilize their very own CBDC.
The Quant guys, and I'll speak loosely on behalf of the Quant guys. Claire, please beat me up if I say something wrong. But they've shown an actual working demo where there is a network that connects up to a CBDC network to do the payments and settlement, but the actual asset exchange is on a different token network. Right, so the CBDC is used only for settlement. Now, to answer your specific question, that's why they're talking about multi-CBDC networks, right?
So as stated by Harjano in the previous clip, Quant is actively working in regards to developments involving CBDCs, and upon their investigations and their own developments, this CBDC initiative is geared towards providing a multi-CBDC infrastructure which will encompass the ability for central banks to undergo CBDC demos. So as well as Harjano detailing how Quant is at the center of CBDC developments, Harjano and MIT have actually come forward and provided further details in regards to how CBDCs could function, where he noted as to how blockchain infrastructure could act as a telephone internet networks, where when interoperability mechanisms are incorporated, where at the moment, despite the number of benefits associated with blockchain and DLT, blockchain does have some limitations, most notably the lack of ability for such blockchains to interact and interoperate. However, as mentioned by Harjano in the previous clip, one innovation that can provide interoperability frameworks and mechanisms is Quant's overledger ODAP offering, where through the utility of overledger, the ability for varying blockchains to interact can be achieved, and this factor is compounded with overledger also providing the capacity to enable networks of varying backgrounds to also interact with blockchain networks. So this will be increasingly more important, especially when CBDCs are rolled out, or not even just CBDCs, just general blockchain networks become more widely utilized, where there will be an increased need for future blockchain networks that organizations choose to utilize to have some degree of interoperability and a way of communicating and connecting with legacy infrastructure and protocols. So again, interoperability provided by Quant's overledger could be the answer to this dilemma. And again, this diagram here goes into depth and detail in regards to how overledger's interoperability platform could provide this degree of interoperability between varying blockchain networks at a given time. So again, MIT went into further detail and noted to how interoperability fundamental to survivability. So this indicates how interoperability will become a necessity, especially over the long run, and as blockchain incorporation and utility becomes the norm. This is a very illustrative diagram which indicates and demonstrates how varying blockchain networks could interact and interoperate if an overarching or underlying infrastructure is incorporated into the blockchain system, where again the arrows here, the lines here, indicate some sort of application that can provide interoperability. And you could draw some comparisons between the following diagram, which references to overledger, and this diagram here too. So it could lead to overledger becoming a attractive proposition and may be the go-to option for interoperability frameworks. So as well as MIT and Harjano also noting to the benefits blockchain technology provides and how DLT could be harnessed into CBDC developments, a number of papers have actually been published in regards to the monetary system. So in the following article entitled Automated Market Making for Fiat Currency, so in the abstract it was mentioned, we present an automated market making cross-settlement mechanism for digital assets on interoperable blockchains, focusing on central bank digital currencies and stablecoins. We develop an innovative approach for generating fair exchange rates for on-chain assets consistent with traditional off-chain markets. We illustrate the efficacy of our approach on realized FX rates for G10 currencies. So within the paper, a number of references were pointed to, which all references back to Harjano, where in a separate paper published by Harjano, which was referenced in this article here, the articles published by Harjano all reference to interoperability architecture and blockchain systems. So it indicates how the likes of Harjano and MIT are fully aware of the need and the necessity to incorporate interoperability frameworks between blockchain infrastructure, in this example the potential utility of overledger. But again, as Harjano mentioned at the start of the clip, Quant isn't limited to overledger now, as from the clip we know that Quant have actually created a multi-CBDC demo. So it goes to show how Quant is making strong headwinds and are fully aware and are conducting their own research in regards to how CBDCs could function, and as a result, through their research and their own protocols, this could see the likes of Quant sharing their views and their ideas with central banks around the world, and in turn this could see such central banks taking on the benefits and the advice provided by the Quant team, and as a result may incorporate Quant's use cases including overledger into their own infrastructure, be it within their own nation or cross borders, especially when such central banks wish to connect and interoperate and communicate with varying central banks' CBDCs. So the Quant team have actually directly collaborated with MIT, where the two organizations collaborated, where they were working on the multi-DLT protocol. So the article went into further depth and noted as to how MIT and Quant both worked on the interoperability mechanisms Quant provides, most notably overledger. So this article was from a few years ago now in 2020, so it indicates how MIT have been at the center of developments involving Quant's use cases for a number of years now, and Quant have actually made strong headwinds and have progressed quite a lot across the DLT sphere, and also having partnerships and publicly noting and stating that they have conducted research and have communicated with central banks around the world, where one example of Quant's affiliation and partnership with a financial body includes Quant's affiliation with the Digital Pound Foundation. So the Digital Pound Foundation is a private organisation and is working with a number of fintech organisations including Quant in the realisation of a UK CBDC. So the initiative surrounding the Digital Pound Foundation is primarily geared towards conducting research for CBDCs, and in turn the organisation are set to provide guidance and give their own research to the Bank of England to aid in the central bank's design of a CBDC. So Quant isn't limited to its partnership with the Digital Pound Foundation, where Quant have actually collaborated with the Bank of England itself and the Bank for International Settlement in Project Rosalind. So it indicates how Quant is making strong headwinds and is one of few projects on the marketplace that has a direct affiliation with a huge organisation or huge organisations in central banks. So with Quant being at the centre of CBDC developments, be it through its intricate design of its overledger offering or the design of demo multi-CBDCs, this is all encompassed with these potential use cases and findings being shared with the mentioned organisation Quant has an affiliation with, including the likes of the BIS and the Bank of England. So very exciting for Quant, and time will tell in regards to how these developments will impact the price of Quant and whether the likes of Quant's use cases, including overledger, will be utilised into the infrastructure surrounding CBDCs in the future. What are your thoughts on Quant? Do you think central banks will use Quant? Let us know your views in the comments below.